Cause he wanna life. Yeah, life, I've been with me and back through the city. I've been going through some things, trying to get my mind right. Push the bucket to the lip, push that bitch into the finish. Gotta get the full control, gotta get my mind right. Yeah, life, I've been with midnight through the city. I've been going through some things, trying to get my mind right. Push the bucket to the lip, push that bitch into the finish. Gotta get the full control, gotta get my mind right. Flashing on these high beams, she won't step beside me, even if I'm blinded.
And what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing out here, man? It's Tuesday night, man. Whew, Cowboys, we got a game this week. How we feeling?
Man, I feel good, man. I feel rested off of that bye week, man. I needed that bye week in a major way, man.
Yes, sir. So I got my guy J Tuck in the building, got my guy Space Cowboy in the building, got my guy E2 Blue in the building. And as you guys know, Cowboy Fan Talk Room is on the way. He'll be here pretty soon. So look, we got a jam-packed show for you guys. But before we start anything, man, Space, you got anything that you mad about today, man?
I'm glad this bye week came. You know, I understand that there's the talk about OBJ, and there actually is some good traction there. It's just a matter of, you know, whether or not they actually they put something together. You know, we'll talk about that later in the show because I've been hearing a couple things, but nothing to complain about so far. So
yeah, got my guy Rome in the building. What's going on, Rome? I was just talking you up to the people, man. How you doing?
Hey, I ain't making no noise, man. Over here fighting a cough and fighting some kids, but y'all know how that go.
yeah, definitely. Wait, I was about to say, wait, you ain't making no noise. You ain't fighting no Eagles fans on Twitter right now. No Eagles fans.
You know, I do that for fun. That's something I do in between stuff at work. I don't really take them too serious.
So Space kind of talked about it, and you know we can kind of segue into it, man. The Odell Beckham watch, man. I just kind of want to get you guys' thoughts on it before we kind of jump into Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean, so far from what we understand, Odell does not want to play for a team that has cold weather, but he will play if the money asks for it. Like, okay, if the money is if they give him a significant contract offer, sure, he'll go play for like Green Bay or Buffalo, for example. But, you know, with Josh Allen's injury, not sure where that's going to land him there. You know, Jerry does apparently want to sign him. There have been sources that have said that there's interest because they did want to add a receiver at the trade deadline. They said didn't like the asking price, but listen, there's no excuses with this one. I don't care how you want to dice it up, ladies and gentlemen. We have $6 million in cap space. You can't tell me that you can't get this guy $6 million, number one. But number two, you have gone out and said, oh, we don't want to give up draft capital. You're not going to give up any comp picks. You're not going to give up any draft capital for this guy. And even if it's like a 1 or 2 or even 3-year deal, it's not like it's going to hamper you down the road with your other wide receivers. So it's kind of annoying how they're not pushing the button, because I think this is the move that could really add that element to the offense that I would like to see. And we're not asking Odell to come in here and be the number one guy. There's this misconception from a lot of people that believe, hey, we need Odell. Oh, we need him to come in here and be like a market. No, we don't need him to do that. We have this guy come in. It makes your offense a lot more open. That's what we're looking for. And it's just a matter of, do they get it done? That's what we're looking for here. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go for the contrary here because I know my guy E2 feels a certain way about Odell Beckham. Not like crazy, but E2, I want to hear your thoughts on the Odell Beckham watch situation.
Oh, first of all, before I say anything, what up, Big Ron?
What's good with you, man? How you doing?
Ain't nothing, man. But yeah, so it's not that I don't want Odell Beckham on the team. It's more so of I was speaking from a standpoint, not from myself, but from a standpoint of the organization, right? We know what Odell Beckham brings as far as the rah-rah, right? Everybody's going to be talking about every week about, oh, when is he going to do this? What he's going to say this week? And not saying that he causes a distraction, but more so his presence causes a distraction. The second thing was, I don't really think that Kellen Moore really knows how to utilize him. 3, is he fully healthy? You're talking about a guy that's coming off an ACL injury from the same ACL injury, like the same leg twice. Is he going to be the Odell Beckham of the past, or are we just picking him up because of his name or because of what he's done before, not knowing what he's going to bring to the table now? Coming back from 2 ACL surgeries.
Now, I'll actually raise you one on this one because all of those same questions are questions we have about James Washington. We don't know what James Washington is going to be like coming off an injury. We don't know what the chemistry is going to be like with James Washington. We know he's in the building, but we don't know if we'll utilize him right. We don't know if it'll throw things off. And quite frankly, they're really in the same boat. One guy's just more talented than the other, in my opinion. We don't need we don't need Odell to be like, kind of like Space was saying, we don't need Odell to be our number one. We just need him to be better than James Washington, better than Noah Brown. And, we need him to be a guy that can fit in. I think Dak and Zeke, they do a very good job of allowing people to be themselves, but also fit into the locker room. I'm dying to know what Rome's, feelings about this is.
Well, the Odell thing, man, I just got done making a video about Odell again for the 15th time because it won't die. It just keeps getting worse. And players is involved now. It's everywhere. It's in every media outlet. It's not like we kind of hinting at it. It went from Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport to on every major show today. They was talking about. They wasn't like hinting at it. So it's out there. Then Micah's talking to him, and this is like, all right, we here now. Like they even go. This isn't like our normal Cowboys. Please sign Von Miller, and it's kind of mentioned. This is like full blown everywhere, and that's why I'm kind of like, usually I'll be like, Jerry and them don't really, you know what I'm saying? But the way it lines up to me is this. The money works if Stephen Jones, and it's all on him, if he's willing to just say, okay, the next 3 years, we're going to hitch our wagon to Odell. But he has to have the heart to do it because the money's there, because the money that you're paying Schultz will be there next year. And that's the money he wants. Schultz money is there next year. You're already paying Schultz for it. This year, Odell's going to have to be, it's going to have to be an escalating contract. He's going to have to take his $6 million. You find a way to give him some signing bonus money to even it out. You know how they do the contracts. It's not going to be even. Give him $3 million in signing bonus. Give him $6 million to make this year work. Fine. Next year you give him Schultz money, and then you say we'll give you a 2 years guaranteed. Third year we'll come back to the table, just like with Gallup. And then if Gallup and Odell are shaky within the next 2 years, that's your out. Odell has to be in the flex too. Coming off an ACL injury, we have a little bit of leverage. I think that Odell would be like, you know what, I'll take 2 years guaranteed, and that third year we can talk when they get there. And then you just push the chips to the middle of the table. As far as us using Odell, the type of offense we about to be running, we're not about to get away from running the ball. We just not. Because it's going to continue to open up the offense. So we're asking Odell to be able to beat the third corner or the second corner on a play action pass. I don't care if Odell roll out there in a wheelchair. From what we're dealing with right now, we dressed 4 receivers last week.
Right.
This isn't even like we might need Odell because we got a stack. We got injuries everywhere. Simi's on IR. Noah's coming off an injury. I don't know. I forgot what that injury is, but he's not completely healthy. You know what I'm saying? Tolbert, as much as I wanted to have faith in Tolbert, he got to figure it out. He just ain't doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's just not doing it. It's disheartening. So you literally got CeeDee Lamb, you got Michael Gallup that I really want. I've seen flashes. And then it drops off a cliff because Turpin. And it's not that I don't think Turpin can do it. They're not going to give him a shot neither. So when people when I'm arguing with the Eagles fans on Twitter because it's funny, at the end of the day, this is a need. This isn't like, hey, man, we can go without Odell. We dressed 4 receivers last week. We twist 2 ankles, and they're going to have Connor McGovern line up a receiver for real because we ain't going to have no
running routes for real from the backfield
because we out of receivers. Everybody want to act like it's a luxury. It's a need. And at the end of the day, if you go to the used car lot because you played around with your money, if we wanted to fulfill the receiver need, we should have did it. So now we dealing with what we got. What we got is a Odell, and we would just lie to ourselves trying to bring in a T.Y. Hilton or somebody. At the end of the day, Odell's the best option out there. Everything is clicking. Like you're literally you make the Odell. I'll leave it like this. You make the Odell signing for one reason. It's a nod to your players that we going for. That's it. Sometimes you got to nod to your players. Hey, we believe in you. We think we can do it. You sign Odell. That will. They already confident. I know they're confident. I can tell how this team is built. But you nod to the players like, hey man, we see a weakness. We fulfilling the weakness. Even if Odell, I ain't expecting Odell to come out there and get 120 yards every week.
Hell no.
I just want him to be. If we drop back in the red zone, you can't double and shade the CD. You just can't. You leave Odell on a third corner if you want to alone. I don't care how slow he might be. It's like you leave him alone.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of. Remember when Tampa Bay? It just seems like, oh, they got Mike Evans, they got Gronk, and then they just went and got Antonio Brown. It's like, I mean, at that point, they didn't need Antonio Brown, but that ended up being a guy that put them over.
But that's the difference, right? Because if Tom Brady goes out and says, I need Antonio Brown, the Bucs just write the check and make it happen. And that's where we got to understand is like, from a Cowboys fan perspective, what is for saying? You know what I'm saying? And that's the hard part. I see what Mike is saying. Hell, I see what Des Bryant is saying. But what is for really saying?
Dak is so low key though, Tuck. You know Dak, he'll shoot Odell a text and won't tell nobody.
And I just don't see Dak being the guy that's begging the table saying, I need another wide receiver, because Dak's mindset is that I could make it with anybody, you know, and I kind of criticized him for that. But
yeah,
do we need Odell? Absolutely. Do I think the Cowboys are going to make the move? I just don't. And the reason why I've been saying this is from the Cowboys Eagles perspective. What you're doing, if you have to go out and sign Odell Beckham Jr. for a year deal, you're saying, one, you bricked on Amari Cooper, right? You messed up on that mistake.
They already admitted that with all that trying to get receivers. They already admitted
that. yeah.
You're low key doing it. So I'm saying, then two, you admit that you bricked in the draft because Jalen Tolbert isn't ready. Three, you're saying you bricked in the offseason because James Washington is going to get skipped over as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just don't think Stephen Jones with their ego is going to try to right their wrong and go get a guy of the caliber of Odell Beckham Jr. And what kind of leads me to thinking that way is that they just opened that window for James Washington. Like we were saying, DMV before this show is like,
yeah,
we got Odell Beckham at home. But what people got to understand when it comes to Odell, I know he's older. I know he's had some injuries, but he's someone that you have to scheme for, and he can completely change the course of a game. Don't even think about what happened when he was at the Rams last year. We remember that game when we played against the Browns, and we thought we came back, versus the Cleveland Browns, and then they ran that reverse, and he pretty much wrapped around the damn field and just exploded that play and changed the course of the game. That's what you're paying for when you get an Odell Beckham Jr. You can't put your third best corner, and hell, in some cases, you might not be able to put your second best corner, depending on who you are, on Odell, so it opens up our offense completely. But
can I say something to that, Tuck?
Yeah.
I want you to, because me and Tuck, we be talking offline a lot about stuff, and I feel like Odell Beckham would bring a little bit of that Dez Bryant factor back to our team.
Right.
Our defensive side of the ball, we have two people that can do. When I say Dez Bryant factor, I'm saying at any given moment, the one play could spark the entire team's emotion. And as much as we got offensive pieces, you got Dak, you got CD, et cetera, Zeke, Pollard, we don't have that fire starter that even when CD makes a play and he gets up and does his signature, nose swipe thing, it don't galvanize the team quite yet. He ain't at that level, or maybe he'll never be the galvanizer. Maybe he'll just be production guy. But we bring Odell in, man, he can catch a 5-yard in and get up and just point, and the crowd going trip. You gotta like, this investment is not just for like I said, receiving statistics and stuff like that. It's a galvanizing piece for the team. His first touchdown, and Tuckman said it. He's like, man, when I'm in the stadium, they piss me off because people don't show emotion. I'm telling you right now, Odell Beckham, I don't care what kind of touchdown he catch or what he do. The crowd going trip because he's that type of person.
And
You know,
I mean, just think of it from a celebration standpoint. We don't even got players that kind of celebrate. You know, it's just that thing we just kind of lack when it comes to our offensive identity. It's all on the defensive side of the ball, but you got to have that guy on the offense who's actually been there before. He's played at the high level, so the spotlight, the moment won't be too big for Odell. You need that guy out there, and as of right now, we got. You know, like we trust Dak, we trust Zeke, but they never been there. They don't know what it's like to go to the Super Bowl and play in the spotlight and deal with everything that Odell's done. So if you can add him, I would definitely do it. But you know,
don't he sound more mature though? Am I tripping?
Space know who has the checkbook.
Yeah. And so here's the thing too, is that when it comes to the whole ego factor, well, that is a thing. I have seen this team circumnavigate their ego. I go back. I understand it was a one-off thing, but just hear me out here. Back in 2018, I remember when we let go of Dez, we brought in this wide receiver by committee, and we're like, oh, we got this. So then they go trade for a guy in Amari Cooper, and they fix that there. And they didn't really mention much outside of that. They were just like, hey, we just did the move, and that's it. What's weird with this team is they have a history of going after receivers. You know,
but what I'll say is this space to kind of but that situation was different because we got dog walk. And it really got broke because Allen Hurns got injured, right? So the levees kind of broke. But right now, we fat cat and we 6-2. You know, we second in the division. Like the NFC is kind of down. Aaron Rodgers is out. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't think the Cowboys have that sense of urgency to.
And I got you there. And I was going to get to the other, because like for some reason, this team has a weird thing with receivers and acquiring them, because I remember that and there's a tracker. It's really Jerry making that final call. You know how we almost had it with Randy and stuff like that, of him coming back.
Yeah.
That's really the main factor, because I remember back in 2008, it was like, oh, we got Roy Williams. Okay, well, we didn't really need another receiver, but we got another guy. Like that's really what I'm looking for here, is I'm looking for that Jerry magic to be like, listen, Steven, go to your room, go play with your cap space, shut the hell up, and let's just do this deal. And I think that's where I'm kind of a bit different with the wide receiver stuff with this. If it's any other position, fine. Like I'm not thinking that. But again, I do think that you still need a piece to kind of put you over the top. But if it's like, again, I'm just kind of paying attention to what they're saying, because it's like, if you're saying, oh, we got the dry powder, but we're not going to use the dry powder, then what the hell are you bringing up these points? And like, no one wants to bring up the hypocrisy in the media side of things. You know what I mean? So
keep this relevant during the bye week, man.
Yeah.
You know how they say where there's smoke, there's fire. Like this is a little too much smoke. Like I've seen them big up stuff, but it's a little bit too. It's like when Michael started to talk, I was like, all right, man. It's like when it was just Michael Irvin, I was like, ain't not gonna happen. Mike just talking because Mike crazy. It's literally everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's to the point where I'm just starting to feel like, as much as I want to be negative about it, I'm like, yo, I know. Wouldn't somebody would have came out and threw a wet blanket on us, like, hey man, y'all need to relax. I'm waiting for like Michael Gelkin to be like, all right now, relax. And no one's doing it.
Jerry didn't even do it. Jerry didn't even piss me off with what he said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm like, God damn it,
but
like our guys.
But you know what's so weird about it is, it's like we hear all that, and I hear you wrong. Like I said the same thing, and I was like, yeah, nobody's throwing a blanket over this thing. But then I look at the business side of it. I'm like, okay, he wants a 3-year deal.
Right.
He wants what Michael Gallup's making. We can't pay him that because we still got to pay Trayvon Diggs, Micah Parsons. And we got all these contracts coming up in the next year or two. How are you going to
give him Schultz money? Schultz leaving next year. Give him Schultz money.
Yeah,
he's not making $18.
The question is he going to accept that?
Yeah.
He said he wanted to get Schultz making more than Gallup, right?
Roughly, if he's looking for the market value, just to kind of educate, it's around if he's looking for the money that he thinks he wants to get, you're looking at him at around 10 to 13 mil, which is around Schultz money plus what you got now.
But but Amari Cooper was going to cost you what, 14?
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Okay.
We don't talk about that.
I mean, if you're gonna do that, you might as well have kept Amari. I've been saying that.
I mean, we all said that. We all said that.
In 2023, a wide receiver 2 or 3 for $13 million is a bargain. I don't even know why this is a discussion.
So
I woke at the airport today.
Rome said, "I'm gonna go pick him up myself."
I'm gonna fly to Dallas. Fly to Dallas and pick him up.
Family lives in Dallas. His dad lives in Dallas, so there might be something there, man. But whenever I hear make a competitive offer and there's other teams out there willing and dealing, that's just kind of
the Cowboys have them in their sights. They got the fucking double eye patches and stuff like that. They're not even paying attention.
Yeah, if you just say, what, I want to be coming to Dallas and I'm gonna come and play for Bitcoin or whatever, then listen, you know what I'm saying? Then that, I would have been all over last year for the Rams, but 3 years, $13-14 million, you're gonna have other teams bidding for him as well. I just don't see how we win this, but
think about the teams that's got a bid for him. They didn't shot their financial shot a little bit.
Yeah, like Buffalo.
The 49ers still ain't paid. The 49ers ain't paid Nick Bosa yet. They gotta keep some money tucked. They took on Christian McCaffrey's money.
We in the best situation. I would agree with Rome here.
What I do also think is there could be a situation to where he gets, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but we also got to kind of factor in the possibility that there might, like with the team layout of the land for all of the other teams, they might just be like squeamish on giving him that kind of money. And he's like, well, I'm not playing in these cold markets. Let me just take a 1-year deal with Dallas. I'll do my thing, and then I'll go somewhere. Like, that's a possibility too. He might just be like, F it. I need to get on a team, which could happen. But I'm not.
Yeah, but he was talking about like not wanting to live out of a suitcase no more and buy another house and settle down. That's where he was, and that's where Rome. You was talking about his maturity. How the way he talks is just different now.
And right. Not to be funny, if I was like he's thinking about himself as a business, and if this is the last chapter to his business, I'm hitching my wagon to the star. I don't even care, but that's just me, because I'm like, look, I can just, if I come in and get Dallas to an NFC Championship game, I am set in Dallas.
Right. You already got
open up wild businesses just doing that part. That's me.
I was just about to think, like, if it's about business, right? Because we always talk about this team being about business. Can you imagine if they had that 0 Odell jersey that came out? That 0, bro. I'm getting it.
Yeah, if I was Jerry and them, I would do it just off the. And look, that's the Dallas. Chuck know this conversation. When we come to the marketing part, it's a done deal.
And to be honest with y'all, like I say, I go to the games. That stadium's been empty. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fans that Bears game was kind of empty.
It was a 1 o'clock game though, Tuck.
Also, there's a lot of boring teams who've been playing at home too.
Yeah.
So how can you really ignite the fan base?
Jersey,
gift. All right, boom. Odell Beckham Jr., CeeDee Lamb, offense back up, new explosion, get people excited again. But
I'm getting that 0, dog.
If that 0, it was fully Jerry, like Space said, fully Jerry in control. He's already here in Dallas. It's just It's just that son, man. It's just that son I can trust.
Because you be working them back in, it would force them to still keep running the ball. It would continue. Like, you wouldn't come out there and say, all right, Odell, I need 15 catches first game.
Mark, man.
Yeah.
I missed it.
Hey, he probably spent the night at Jerry's house right now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but until they bring him in for the steak dinner, though, I mean, it ain't much more we can really talk about.
Sleepover.
Yeah. Bro, don't you want it to die down though? Like, yesterday I said, all right, it's a wrap. I woke up today, I was like, all right, it's chill. Then Micah made it worse. I was like, here we go. Like,
that's what Micah does. That's what Micah does, bro.
What you think they're gonna talk about tomorrow all day?
Micah
did it after the media cycle.
Micah
don't
talk
about Micah in the morning. They go.
Well, you know what? I actually would rather talk about OBJ than to hear about Mike McCarthy going back to Green Bay and making this more. I'd rather hear that because Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he really due for a good game. To be honest with you,
we about to put Aaron Rodgers in the dirt. I'm letting you know right now. I know everybody, like Tuck said on this video. Y'all think Michael Myers walking through that door, and it's gonna be just like, look, if you saw the new Michael Myers movie, like Tuck said, you went in there expecting to get scared, and you left.
He was an old man because he got his mask snatched off.
Yeah. Everybody expecting Aaron Rodgers to be Michael Myers, and we're gonna have him strapped to the hood of the whip, and throw him in a meat grinder named Michael Parsons and leave him on the side of the road. It ain't happening. Like, I just watched him struggle.
They kept calling him John Wick.
you struggled with the Lions. He was
John Wick where? John Wick where? So yeah, I was gonna ask this question, man. Does him struggling make you feel better or worse? I already got Rome's answer. What do you guys? How you guys feel about it?
Well, I think here's a stat that I think's interesting that I'm kind of been following the Packers this whole time, and it's not even like even in their wins, guys. Like they are 15th in yards per play, despite playing these bad or subpar defenses. They're only getting 5.6 yards per play, and you getting only 9 points against one of the worst defenses in the NFL in Detroit. I mean, there's a lot more there. I think it's a tale of the talent pool is diminished in Green Bay. You look at that receiving core, there really isn't anybody that's scaring you. Hence why they're like, oh, we need to get somebody. They're not really utilizing their running game as much as they should. Like, sure, Aaron Jones, like
that's what they're gonna do this week. But ain't he hurt?
Well,
he's hurt. I think he's hurt.
Yeah.
Well, they said there's a chance he might play.
Aaron Jones in a walking boot.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Give me him in the walking boot then. Come on out then. Go ahead.
But my main thing is that as I firmly believe how the Cowboys have put things together, make them try to. I know this sounds really stupid to do, but given how they're trying to beat teams, just let him try to beat you. He isn't doing anything crazy that I'm like, oh shit. And here's the reason why this game's important. You knock him out of playoff contention, basically. You get him to 3-7, give him just end their season right there. Like, and also, like, I know, like, the Mike McCarthy, he wants this game. Mike McCarthy is not gonna come into this game and get like no, if you saw that press guy, this game means a lot to him. He's gonna make sure this team's gonna punch the fuck out of Green Bay, hopefully. But to your point, I think that I'm not expecting them to lie down. They know what's at stake. If we lose this game, odds are, I don't think they're going to catch Minnesota in the division. You look at that wild card race and you're saying, well, if we lose, I don't know, man. Like, we have so many losses in the NFC now. That's really the main thing. They're going to fight for their playoff lives, and if they lose, that's it. So,
yeah, this is the meat grinder game, man. You toss him in, it's going to be the end. It's going to be the end of Aaron Rodgers. And to piggyback off of what Space said, it's like, you know, they do have some explosive plays, but they struggle a lot on third down. They're like bottom of the league on third down, and they also struggle in the middle of the field. So I felt like also they haven't seen a defensive front that can get pressure like we can get. And normally we go back historically when Aaron Rodgers kind of killed us in the playoffs back in 2016, it's with his mobility being on the bye time. I just don't think he still has that capacity anymore, and especially not with a defensive front. So, you know, where he really struggles is like a lot of like man concepts. Like sometimes they run kind of quarter defenses, maybe it's man on one side, zone the other side, but they just don't have the weaponry with their wide receiver core to really overcome it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of diminishing Aaron Rodgers, but also just their talent pool at the wide receiver core. And even if they do decide to run the ball, like E2 said, you know, Aaron Jones might be a little bit limited. It might not even play. But if they even decide they go with that approach to run versus the Dallas Cowboys defense, their defense isn't good enough to keep up with the Cowboys offense that can score at an efficient clip now that we got Dak Prescott back. So I feel like this is a game that the Cowboys should handle, easily. But I will say this, it's in Lambeau. It's just Aaron Rodgers. Sometimes, you know, people just have their day. So if you're afraid of that, then yeah, I can understand it. But if you kind of look at the film and everything you've seen this far with the Green Bay Packers, this isn't the boogeyman that we're used to seeing when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. I know he's, back to MVP, but there's nothing that says that that's him, especially without Devontae Adams out there.
Yeah, and one thing I kind of wanted to point out too, because I've been kind of, on the ticker, I've been kind of putting out a little bit of stats, a little bit of things that I looked up. Offensive red zone efficiency that I'm looking at right now. Dallas is what we're 8th, and Green Bay is 23rd. They're not doing very good in the red zone. Devontae Adams, missing him, obviously. They're not scoring points. Aaron's mobility is an issue. He looks like an old man overnight. I don't believe he gets away from this rush as easy as he had in the past. They're going to have to rely a lot on their short game, but they don't have the short game people. They don't have the explosiveness. Like, remember Randall Cobb, they don't have that Randall Cobb. Even if they had that Randall Cobb, that's not the same guy that's breaking tackles for big chunk plays. They just don't have the chunk plays anymore, But the thing that surprised me a little bit about Green Bay is their defense. Their defense, now I don't know if it's because of the opponents they played, but their defense seems to be very similar to ours. You know, they don't give up a ton of yards. They're not great against the run. They're great against the pass. They're actually number 1 against the pass, which I didn't know. You know, in points allowed, they're probably in the middle of the pack. They don't get a ton of turnovers though, so that's in our favor. What are some areas that you guys would attack Green Bay in this game? Like, how do you guys see this game playing out if it was in your control?
Me personally, from an offensive standpoint, I know I love me some 12 formation, and I'm letting these young tight ends eat. I feel like we can take advantage of their linebacker core and also run the ball down their throats. So I feel like that's where we're going to be the most efficient. You know, it's going to be interesting just from a fan perspective, because I want to see how CD kind of handles, you know, Alexander, you know, going out there, you know, versus that caliber of corner, and see how that matchup really works out. But as far as their holes is concerned, you can really big boy this Green Bay Packers defense. And like I see people in chat saying it's going to be Cole approximately. Yeah. So Zeke, Pollard, 2 tight end sets, you know, little Schultz, little Henney, little Ferg. And I feel like that's going to be more than enough to get you up out there with pretty much a double-digit win in Green Bay. So yeah, it's just not getting outside of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because if we try to reel back and put on a show and say, hey, we're going to try to outscore and have a shootout with Aaron Rodgers, you know, sometimes it can just kind of go the opposite direction, man. Stick to what we've been doing. It's working well. Pollard's running amazing. You know, Zeke's looking a little bit healthier from what I'm hearing with the knee. Yeah, man, just keep things in rhythm, man. Don't get cute, Kelly.
Yeah, we just gonna have to turn it into a Big Ten showdown. Like the tight ends that you named. Like, what do they do in the Big Ten?
Right.
They stop you up front and they're able to block you and move you and you know what I'm saying, they play within the trenches. We're gonna have to make it a Big Ten matchup.
Right.
I feel so many different ways about this right now. Because one thing that we do know is for sure is a winning streak comes to an end. A losing streak also eventually comes to an end. You just hope that streak doesn't end with them playing you. You know what I mean? Like our history of playing Aaron Rodgers, we know that he's had our number, right? I think we've lost 9 of the 11 times we played Aaron Rodgers in recent history. Now, if you go by how they're playing this year, you should win by double digits. I mean, the fact that they put up only 9 points up against the worst defense in the league is just atrocious. And throwing 3 interceptions, and 2 of them was in the red zone. Aaron Rodgers has never done that in the history of the time that he's been in. All 3 of them were? All three of them were? Okay, even worse. But he's never done that in his time in the NFL. So part of me is like, okay, he's playing against his old coach. Is he going to finally step up this week, or are we going to see the Aaron Rodgers that we've been seeing all year? Because if we see that Aaron Rodgers, then this defense is going to eat Roger patties all day.
And here's what some people got to think about. Was it Aaron Rodgers really the boogeyman, or was it Mike McCarthy was the boogeyman to Jason Garrett? You know what I'm saying? So, because, you know, I remember them games where it was Green Bay and in the game where Aaron Rodgers went out and Mike McCarthy was still getting up in Jason Garrett's mess. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like Jason Garrett always get a little tense when he looked across that sideline and saw Mike McCarthy. But this time, you know, we're going to strip that away and have him on our sideline with us. And I feel like Mike's going to coach outstanding game. And I posted that Cam Newton meme, like, yo, when Kelly started to call, man, just go chill a little bit, man. I got this. Let me handle this one, Kelly. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I feel like, yeah, it's going to be a fun game. I think it's going to be a big game just for the psyche of, you know, the team morale. But to come out and hear J-Ron Kerr say, you know what, we're going to support our coach. We know what this means to us or means to him. Like that says a lot, because that lets you know that, hey, this team is going to really rally around their coach, and they still, you know, believe in Mike McCarthy as the head coach. So let's go get it.
So what I would look at is this. This is an important thing. With the Cowboys leading the league with 33 sacks, the Packers are 0-2 when Aaron Rodgers is sacked at least 4 times. Okay. So what I'm looking at and what I look at the film is that the Packers have a separation problem with their wide receivers. And so it takes a long time for these plays to develop. So for me, as I mentioned before, my game plan is force Aaron Rodgers and this Green Bay pass attack to beat you. They will get some plays here and there.
Right.
I understand that. But at the end of the day, like, dude, you getting 49 yards on 20 carries against the 31st ranked run defense, knowing that they'll run all over us. But,
right.
but the other thing too is like, okay, so what are we doing offensive? Well, offensively, 2 key injuries, Eric Stokes and Rashawn Gary. Those are huge things for the Packers because one of their better players is Rashawn Gary. He's not playing because I think he tore his ACL. And Eric Stokes, I don't know what he suffered, but I think he's out for this game as well. But I do believe when you look at the matchup, it's simple. Play ball control, get a lead, and just run the ball. It's super simple like that. I don't think that the Cowboys are going to be overmatched. On paper, they are the better team on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. It's a matter of can they put this together? And it's really just use your 12 personnel, run it straight down their throat, and just, play keep away. Play keep away with Aaron Rodgers. I think that I wouldn't be shocked if Dallas opens up to or something happens to where Dallas opens up to a quick lead and the Packers respond. But to me, the longer the game goes and the more that you're consistently putting drives together, it's going to be harder for Green Bay to stay in their game. If you look at how they got to that 3-1 record originally, I mean, it's a lot of, okay, well, we got points. I mean, you look at that Giants loss they had where they started the losing streak. The reason they lost that game is because they lost steam offensively. So that's where they're losing these games. And I think that that's where I'm trying to beat them. So,
well, it's actually funny because their offense gets a lot of yards. They just don't score a lot of points.
Right.
I'm almost to the point where I'm not playing keep away, and I'm just like, score points. Do what you've done all year. I don't think we have to do anything special. You get in the red zone, you score. You score 7 instead of 3, and you make them have to do something they haven't been able to do all year, which is
they got to start out fast like they did last week.
Exactly. If they don't start off fast and the longer the game goes, it's going to be harder for them to win.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I know Aaron Rodgers is smug and he's condescending and he's arrogant. And I watched him in this little interview clip that he came out talking about how he missed Mike McCarthy and they used to hug after arguments. And I'm like, oh, you scared? Because he usually condescending. He usually be like, yo, and you know what it is? It ain't about the offense. He watched our defense and said, this ain't gonna be fun. We need to realize we're leading the league in sacks, and we ain't been carrying leads. This ain't like what Philly and other teams are doing when they're up and they can pin their ears back. We're leading the league in sacks and pressures, and we're leading the league when we have to get our sacks in the most inopportune ways. It's not like, are we up by 20? Let's go get these sacks.
Right.
We in dog fights still getting sacks.
Yeah,
like it's not even gonna be fair. And Aaron Rodgers sees it like, yo, it ain't even just Micah. Like I'm at a point where it's not just Micah. You look at our pass rush and our defense, and it ain't fun. You pray to God that you get in a position where you could just run the ball. Because Chicago said, we're gonna run our way back in this game. They was down by 21.
And they was running the ball. They ran the ball 3rd and 6, bro.
Every time they tried to pass, for the most part, something bad happened. Like they were like, yo, we're gonna just keep running.
Green Bay not doing that. They're not running. If we're up by like 18 points, they're not running the ball. You know Aaron Rodgers gonna throw that ball all over the field.
Hey, we might see Jordan Love. We might see Jordan Love this week.
Shit.
I mean,
so
I'm the coach. I might.
Not with Mike McCarthy coming back. They gonna keep Aaron Rodgers out there.
Aaron Rodgers popped in that Chicago tape and saw when D-Law teed off on on Fields. He don't want nothing. His old bones can't take that hit.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, Aaron Rodgers limping.
And see, he's not Brady. He's not, trying to get the ball out quickly from the clip. He's trying to tack downfield. So
right, exactly.
Those deeper 5-step, 7-step drops, like he's going to be in the pocket a little bit. And that's when it's going to be lunchtime from the Lions, man. So
can I see him throwing the ball away, just reckless throwing the ball?
That's going to be dangerous for him.
The only way I see it not going to Cowboys' favor is if the Cowboys just come out sleepwalking because they come off the bye. But I just don't see that happening. Like I said, because they're going to want to rally for their coach, Mike McCarthy. So he's going to have them ready.
Yeah. Mike wants this one bad.
Yeah.
If there's not a win that he wants, it's this one.
Right.
And then the importance of this game too is if you get the win and you manage to get to 7-2, right? You stay on pace with the rest of the NFC. More importantly, you got a massive week upcoming after. I don't like overlooking it, but I'm a big fan of momentum, and I put it on Twitter. Okay, these next 3 games are going to be crucial for our Dallas Cowboys because you look at the Green Bay game. Okay, boom, you get your boogeyman at a 3-7 record. Pretty much just throw him in that meat grinder basically. Then I think there's a possibility that the Vikings game is going to be flexed to Sunday night, which is up to me because we get to play primetime Kirk Cousins. So, but you win that game, you get a tiebreaker. Then this is my thing. I am not a fan of short weeks. For some reason, the Cowboys always do this. If they win the game, and I think this is what's going to happen, they'll win the game versus the Vikings, they'll win the game versus the Giants on Thanksgiving. It's this weird thing where if they lose that Sunday game, they lose or win the next game, like or whatever the case may be. So if you come out of this stretch 8-3, 9-2, I'm cool. But if it were me, beat Green Bay and beat the Giants, because now, or hell, if you want to beat all 3, now you have your seeding locked to either you're going to be number 1 or you're going to be number 5. Because that matchup versus the NFC South, I want that. I want that. I know people, Space Cowboy, you want to go to the hardest. Fuck that shit. I want to get it as easy as possible. I fuck that.
Right.
So
let me.
To piggyback what Space said, I've been trying to tell Cowboys fans, y'all save y'all money because I have a feeling we're going back to Tampa playoffs.
Space.
Yeah. What's up?
Let me tell you something that this should excite you and make you feel better about the team. When you look at this Cowboys team, everything you need to know about the team happened when Dak was out.
Absolutely.
This ain't if the old Cowboys walked through that door, they'd have walked through that door with them 4 weeks. That resilience, every week someone stepping up and doing, just every week it was somebody else trying to do a little bit more. Even Cooper Rush, I got to give him his props because our season wouldn't be where it is if he didn't make some of them throws. The resilience of them 4 weeks let you know that we're dealing with a different Cowboys team, because if this was a Garrett team, we would have folded.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. And look, and to your point, my main thing is that they can still get better. Okay, you got a Jonathan Hankins. I'm not asking for him to do a whole lot. Cool, you went through that. Not to go back to the Odell thing, even if you do get him or not, you don't have to really rush him back given how you're running this offense. And so for me, it's all about you play good football at the right time. We saw what happened last year. We were playing good at the beginning of the year, and it kind of got sloppy towards the end, and then that kind of translated into postseason. And I'm telling fans of other teams, even people that I know in real life, listen, it's fun that you're at the record you're at or you're enjoying how your team's playing now, but I'm telling you, like, the last thing you want to have happen is that starts kind of diminishing as we get towards the postseason. And I think that for Dallas, they have a winning formula that has been historically shown to work in the postseason. It's a matter of how do you perfect it and move forward with that. Win these games. Just take care of business. That's all you got to do. Take care of business. If someone loses, and you move up a spot. Like did we expect the Giants?
I mean, because Minnesota has Buffalo, so I mean,
right, exactly. But then again, we don't know if Josh Allen's going to play. But either way, it doesn't matter at this point. All I need this team to do is win. All we're going to do is win. Apparently, that's what Mike McCarthy said. That's what we're about. And hey, listen, the fact of the matter is that if we win and we go to 7-2. It'll be the first time since Barry Switzer we've had a record of like 7-2 or better in back-to-back years. It goes to show you that coaching does somewhat matter. Well, not even somewhat. It does matter. It definitely does.
Yeah, where's Dan Rogers at? Because Jason Garrett didn't do it.
I'm not even gonna get him because my man is.
Listen, he got upset.
He does the Stephen Jones burner better than you, Space man.
No, dude, he got mad because I replied to him and he wanted to be a butthurt SOB. Like, stay in character. It's seriously, but man, stop being such a dick, Dan. I'm sorry that no one agrees with you and you look like a complete fucking clown. Like, fuck you, dude.
Just give him the password to the burner, man. Give him the password to the burner, man.
Oh shit, I might as well. That motherfucker be saying shit that I couldn't even think of. Like, shit, man.
I'll say this though. That stretch, I feel like it's funny. Like even outside the Odell thing, like early in the year, the one thing that I kind of threw in the trash was the Ty Smith thing. You know, I was like, that ain't gonna matter. You know what I'm saying? And because of the way this season is going, and because of how stout not stout, but it has been at least resilient. Our offensive line has not been our detriment. You know, it's had its moments, but it's been pretty decent. I would love to ask you guys, would you look forward to Ty Smith coming back in December? Like, would you be like, let's roll? Would you want him on the field? Because I'm gonna let you know right now, I would bump Tyler Smith right back down the guard and let's rock and roll.
That's exactly what I would do.
The real question is, have we missed Tyron Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you look at Connor Montgomery, you be like,
I'm torn. I'll tell you, I'm torn because last year when Tyron came back, he was a shell of himself. So how healthy is he?
But Tyron Smith ain't better than Tyler Smith right now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Tyron Smith is a bad man.
Right. Yeah,
that's a good point.
I still watch him fold up.
That's a good point.
With like a forearm, like grab grown men and just.
So where do you put him though? Are you going to slide Tyler in there and keep him on?
You got to put Tyler at guard and put Tyron at tackle.
I would not dare put Tyron Smith at guard. I'm
sorry.
No. That
not
gold jacket he gonna throw on later. You better move.
Nah, you
right. You move, young man.
You move, young man.
You got it. You know what I'm saying?
And look, Tyler Smith, not to be funny, if anyone showed versatility, it was him. It was like, hey man, you ain't get no camp and tackle. Go do it real quick. And he did it. So he can pop in the guard. If he can do that, he can pop in the guard. If you can play tackle.
You also got Peters in the stash too. You know what I'm saying? So,
but on the other side of things, guys, even with the line the way that it is now, I still think it's good enough to win the championship.
Oh, no question.
Still think it is. So that's why I'm on both sides. I'm on both sides. I'm like,
so that's a luxury.
Yeah, it is.
That's a luxury having him going for a playoff push.
It depends.
For a playoff push, having Tyron back in there. That's a luxury, brother.
It depends on what's our offensive philosophy in that game.
Right.
If it's one of those games where we got to go air it out 40 times to, in a shootout, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But if it's one of those games where we can kind of be physical and play tough and kind of play the same game plan that we're doing, I feel like we perfectly.
What game he coming back for too, I think he's going to be back for the Tennessee game.
That's fine with me because, here's the way you look at it too.
Whew, that's going to be a tough one.
So you're getting.
That's good. Get your mind right. You've been out for a minute.
Right. So for me,
the playoffs,
right,
it's going to help us a lot.
And so for me, the one thing is that we know down the road Tyler's going to be your left tackle, and if you look at the film and you look at how listen, he's a rookie. There's only rookies do only so much, and I'm not upset because he's doing a great job there for all things considered of what my expectations were. And so, but there are moments where it's like, okay, if you put a healthy Tyron Smith, you would have a better situation there. And the thing is the film in the preseason of him playing guard shows you, listen, the guy can hold his own, and I don't have to worry about that. But for me, this stuff's about repetition, right? Okay, he's been playing tackle all season. And my worry is you've put him back there, and then it's like you go through those growing pains. I would rather this to be the case. If you were planning to do that, put Peters over at left tackle and get Tyler ready. Because if you
agreed.
Because what I'm worried about, like, let's say the Titans game. So the Titans game is the game he's going to come back hypothetically, right? For me, give him look. You got the whole NFC South to get ready, but also here's the problem: you got that Eagles game before that, so you kind of have to think to yourself, okay, do I want to ramp him up against? Okay, so we'll put him at guard. Colts, Texans, Jags.
They would do him just like they did Dak. They wouldn't bring him back for the Eagles game because of this. They would leave the line like it is for the Eagles game, and they would be like, nah, we'll do the continuity.
I think and I think that's the conversation they're going to have though, because that continuity also is going to factor in with even Peters and stuff like that. But again, like who knows?
Because they sub in left guard every other play though.
Right.
Yeah. So space. I got a question.
Sure.
So would this be the week that you make that change?
I've gone on the record. I'm actually going to say that on my video tomorrow when I do the preview. I said, if there's a time to do it, now's the time to do it, because you got the bye week gap to get ready and acclimated. Now, another part of me, like I said, the importance of this stretch of games. So it's kind of like, do I want to F that up and it possibly F up the chance of going through this stretch with 3-0, 2-1? But here's the caveat to it, right? The caveat is we're talking about Tyron Smith, and, you know, I've seen this guy just get placed in there and he's just doing his thing. There really isn't a ramp up period, right? And so how do I look at it? Like, if we're only having Tyron Smith, right? Let's say his first game back is against Tennessee. And let's say you go the gauntlet and you're a wild card team and you make it all the way. You're only asking him to play, what, 6-7 games?
Right.
So, like, I'm not like,
for anyway.
yeah, like, and you're like praying, like, please don't get hurt.
We do this right, he'll shut it down. He'll just be like, all right, man, I gave you my all.
Get out. But yeah, like, I think that's kind of what the Cowboys are weighing here. Well, okay, we know he's injury prone, but now your discussion is, okay, can I get this guy for 7 games?
Mm-hmm.
Can I get this guy for 7 games? Yeah.
Let me say this though. If y'all know Tyron Smith's history, like I heard, like if you like do the knowledge on, like apparently like he like Tony Romo close to the Joneses. Like he real close to them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so he gonna play. Like
he's not holding the clipboard. So that's the thing.
They don't care. They will sit down.
So if he gonna play, you got to make that move now, in my opinion.
I agree. Yes.
That's a good point.
Unless Tyler's like amazing and like bam, he just goes at guard and like fuck it, like he's doing his thing.
I mean, he did it at tackle.
That young man is a beast.
Listen, he might do it.
Him, man.
And
I didn't even know he was going to be that good.
But they love Conor McGovern for some odd reason. I don't know.
That's
well, they can love his ass as swing guard,
right?
Let's rotate.
It's clearly something that they see with McGovern that we don't see, and I've been trying to figure that out for the longest time.
It's position flex. It's position flex.
That's because he can play receiver.
That too. It's position flex.
What you say, Ron?
He can play receiver.
You remember last year the playoff game? He was out there like,
oh yeah, give me these tight end points, bro.
Hey, why Dak ain't hit him, bro? He was wide open.
But see,
don't make me mad.
That Titans game is going to give us our 49ers walkthrough. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
I agree.
Tough, gritty game on the road. They gonna run it down your throat. They gonna come out and get pressure. Like that's what.
So here's a fun.
They tough too. They tough.
Yeah.
And here,
Well, they competed with the Chiefs in the overtime without completing the pass. I was like,
you guys want to know a fun? Hold on, real quick. This is something that is very interesting. The Dallas Cowboys, if you look at the last games of their schedule, 3 out of the 4 we're on the road. Jacksonville, we go home versus Philly, and then we have the 2 to close out the year in Tennessee and Washington. Okay. If it so happens to be we are a wild card team, I love how the schedule is set up. Why? Because now you're getting ready for, okay, guys, we've gone through multiple atmospheres. I understand this sounds cliche, but still you are getting ready. You're getting ready for that run. Tennessee, like you guys said, I agree with Rome, Tuck.
Right.
That is going to be your litmus test, like how Carolina, how the Cardinals were the litmus test for me last year to really tell me, is this team really like serious about what's going on, or are they playing football at the right time? It's the same game for me.
Right.
It really is. And I think that, and that's why I'm really a fan of going on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you listen, this goes one of two ways. You're winning this number 1 seed or you're getting that 5th seed. And to me, I would love it if it were to be the case that we face Atlanta, or I'm not. I'm still feeling the way. I think I could take Tom. This team, look, that South looks garbage.
I ain't scared of nobody.
I ain't scared of that South. That's why I'm like,
that defense, man. Look at our defense.
There you go. That's your answer. Because now
Tennessee, they got our weakness because they got Derrick Henry, and they are excellently coached. Like they.
Right. But like I said, we'll be able to test it, right? Because back-to-back games, we're gonna get a heavy run game from the Eagles and RPOs, all the options from the Eagles run game, and then also versus the Titans, you're gonna get heavy run dosage, you're gonna get Malik Willis, you know what I'm saying? So you're gonna get tested to see if you're ready. Now, if the Eagles come out and run the ball down our throat, the Titans come out and do this back-to-back, then we can say, you know what? I don't want to play the 49ers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? But that should be the test, man. But we jump away in the future. But you know, it's
Mhm.
the season is shaping up to be proper,
still-
man. It stays injury free. You know, I feel like we get the game on Sunday, keep things rolling a little bit. We should be right where we're supposed to be. Because me personally, I do not want a Dallas Cowboys home playoff game. Like I just don't. Because
I'm the same way.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm the same. Listen, I'm telling you, man. I have said it and I've gotten shit for it. I don't want a Cowboys home playoff game this year.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Listen, I feel the vibes. Listen, I'm from the Delaware Valley. I've been to Philadelphia like just recently to watch the Phillies and their whole run. They stand the whole time. I'm not trying to be like this. No, but hear me. Like, listen, man, I don't want to hear this bullshit. Stop standing. Fuck out of here, man.
right, yeah,
It pisses me because I'm like, you know, like, where's the enthusiasm, man? Like, where I like, you know how much you'd be clowned in Philly. Like, if I was sitting down, yo, man, why are you sitting down? Come on, man, watch the game. You know,
I just got back from Florida State, Miami.
Get mad.
The entire building was up until halftime because we dog walked them boys. But you know, the entire building was up. Everybody, old kids, whoever. You know, the entire. I'm like, this is how
exactly
it feels, but not in Dallas, man. We just living like.
Hey, that's our home field advantage. Our home field advantage. Listen, I would love to play the Rams in the wild card because we'll have AT&T West and that crowd out there. That's our home field advantage. I'm telling you, if we have to go through, which again, I'm not saying that's going to be the route because for all we know, certain things go certain ways. If how it's shaping up, you're going to go through Philly. Fuck it, I'll go there and I'll test that shit. Usually, there's a large showing of Cowboys fans out there in Philly. You'd be shocked. So, you know, it's a long way.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
who the Packers? Y'all worried about Dylan at all? Is he still a second running
Yeah,
back?
I'm not worried about him. He's all right.
And I think that's what Green Bay gonna do. They're gonna try to.
No.
I think that's what like. I think that's
They're gonna test the run defense.
Yeah, they're gonna try.
Yeah.
They're rookies.
Like I was saying on Twitter, man. Like going through that Bears film, like bro, you got so many run reps to get this fixed. Like
I'm about to say, Green Bay don't have a line for that though, bro.
Yeah,
like
right.
I think they had a line
Yeah,
injury in the
right.
Detroit game too.
yeah. So
They ain't built like that. So I'm not afraid of. No,
I'm trying to lie to myself and see. What
Aaron
they
Rodgers
attack us
is
with.
going to be hit a lot.
bro, you're gonna see that loose ass jersey all over the place, bro.
That's all I'm saying.
only thing we gotta be aware of, man, is Anthony Brown, man, going brain dead on us, man, because he's definitely about to get tried. You know what I'm saying? Like,
With Alan Lazard,
I mean, hell, who was he getting tried with?
Sammy
bro?
Watkins.
It was
Yeah.
in Chicago though, so
Fam, I swear to God, if I see these fucking corners get burnt by those receivers in Green Bay, I don't care. Get them the fuck out of there. Listen, there's no excuses. This week.
Lizard ain't doing nothing.
Listen.
Christian Watson.
like
There's no excuses.
Hey, man, we can win against Jamar Chase and everybody and survive.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
I'm not about to be shook because Watson rolling. No,
right.
Yeah, no, yeah. I liked him in the draft.
This ain't what's my man that we hated from 2020? Dan Quinn ain't gonna sleep on this team.
Mike Nolan.
Mike Nolan.
This ain't Mike Nolan's defense. Like them days, I would be nervous. Like, man, Aaron Rodgers about to do something different.
Right.
Like Dan Quinn is chefing up. He don't like that 29 that just got dropped on us. Trust me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I just see him looking at 11 like, shit, I need to get this thing out. I need to get this thing out.
He's like, oh shit. And then the worst part, the one thing that scares me, and this is nothing regarding both teams. Every fucking time we play this son of a bitch, there's some dumb penalty bullshit.
Oh yeah.
That is the only thing.
So
Listen,
somebody said it up top too. Somebody said, watch the refs. And
listen, man, I'm telling you, like, there's gonna be that play, like
yeah, right here. Yeah.
like every freaking game, like it was 2017, and then Dorrance Armstrong, I think that was his, like rookie year, he freaking hits him, roughing the passer or something. Listen, man, if you're gonna get a roughing the passer call, hit that motherfucker so goddamn hard that he doesn't want to come back in the game. Like if you're gonna get that call, fuck it, just kill the man. Like I that's how annoying this roughing the passing call really is, because like what was it, like you're pushing a guy down and that's a roughing the passer call, and you know some of us have our opinions on that, but listen, man, I don't care. Like you got to rough him up. You have to.
Yeah.
It doesn't
What's
matter.
really gonna happen? He's throwing the ball away a lot. We're gonna disrupt. He's not gonna take the sacks, but he's gonna get that ball out.
Right.
We're gonna get a whole lot of pressures because Aaron Rodgers got a quick release. He gonna just throw it away and just complain in the post game like I couldn't get it off. Because we're gonna be in his face. I'm not worried about that. I don't know if he'll get the actual sack, but he'll throw that ball away quick.
And the one thing that I like about our defense too is that we don't have to sub as much, and that's where a lot of times Aaron Rodgers will catch you in that
Right.
in that substitution.
Right.
And I don't really see that happening as much. Man, Donovan Wilson might put that man in the
Yo, he's having a great year, man.
Hey, he might
no love in the summer. He was having
I think Donovan Wilson might actually get 2 sacks in this game.
Yeah. Do y'all remember when Aeneas Williams put out Steve Young? Like I could see Donovan Wilson coming off the edge and just lighting them up. I don't know if I see Aaron Rodgers finishing.
And you add Malik Hooker back into the mix too this week too. So, you know.
And Sam Williams is back as well. So I think that's going to help you do a lot of certain packages and stuff like that. I think this bye week came at a timely juncture of our season because now everyone's going to be fully rested for this next run.
Right.
Yeah, we was hurt.
Yeah,
the
definitely.
injury report was kind of long before the bye week.
Well, we're good now. So before we head on out, man, I need predictions, score predictions. You feel free to jump in.
I'm gonna show Aaron Rodgers some respect. I don't think he get to 20, but I think let's do 7. No. I'm about to be too nice.
Let's see.
Let's do 16. Let's do 31-16. Does that be funny? I think we can get another defensive score. I think we can do 3 offensive scores, a field goal. I can see 31-16. Because I think they'll get a touchdown and a bunch of field goals. So that's why I'm saying 16.
Yeah. 16 was my number 2. I had it 27-16, Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I can see a sack fumble.
I'm gonna go 24-17 Cowboys.
I'm gonna go with a weird score. I'm gonna say 29 to 22 Cowboys. I think this is gonna be one of those games where it's like the Cowboys put it out of reach and the Packers try to mount a comeback type some shit. That's kind of what I'm feeling, but I feel like it's going to be some weird ass score that we're not expecting. So I'm going to say 29-22.
You on mute. There you go. What'd you say, E2?
36-17.
Holy shit. You're killing me.
I would love a 40 burger. I mean,
I think we're gonna beat their ass. Like for me, I had 27-16, but I think it's not gonna reflect how bad we whooped their ass.
Right, like it's gonna be a score that like you look on paper and you're like, well, that looks close, but it's like it's a lot more dominating than you think it was.
It'll be like catch up points, like it'll be like dead stats at the end and shit.
The refs gonna try to mess this game up, but I'm telling you right now, man, our defense is more vicious than we giving it credit.
We on Fox too, yeah. And they don't try to punish.
Oh, we all know what's gonna happen
on the show.
Well, at least we don't got to worry about Joe Buck and Troy Aikman calling it.
Dude, that's been a godsend. Like since they moved over to ESPN, like I love Kevin Burkhardt. I think he's great at what he does. Him and who's that? Is it Greg Olson? Greg Olson. Yeah, like they've been a fantastic. Like I've loved listening to their calls. They've been doing.
I don't hear the bias. It's like when you hear. I know y'all hear Tony. I be wanting to punch the screen with Tony out there.
I watched
Tony Romo shot Tom Brady and so much bail. I was getting so mad. That whole telecast is like, the whole team is trash. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback. I was like, he would not say nothing bad about him. He just refused.
Listen, Tony has been like losing more and more luster for me as the years of him being a Cowboy have gone on, and him being a broadcaster is. Listen, like he's a lot better than. I'll give him this. He's better than Phil Simms because I thought Phil Simms was boring as shit. But like, goddamn, man, like at least I don't have to listen to touchdown Dallas, no flag. Like, get the fuck out of here, Joe Buck. I don't know what he's gonna ask.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I like watching Tony call damn Kansas City games, but I hate
He
him
is
calling
real
our
good.
game.
Our game. He good, well, excuse me.
Yeah, Kansas City games. He's great. You know what I'm saying? Like, Brian SoCal. One thing before we go out, how many flags you think we get?
11. I'm going high.
You might lose with 11. Don't say that.
Damn, Space.
I'm about to say, is it a betting prop? Like us getting flags?
Over under 7.
I would take if 11 was the over and under, I would take the under. But
Oh shit, I think it's 5
You know
probably.
what it is, though? It ain't always the flags on us. It's the flags they don't call.
That too.
Because that's what keeps people in games. If we get out there and we start seeing them because I be watching them put Micah in a figure 4 leg lock the whole game. And if we watch them allow them to hold our linemen, I don't care how good our pass rush is. If they're not calling hold, we might be in for a long day.
Yeah.
Man, they be snapping Micah Parsons' neck back every time he come through there, and they don't be calling shit, bro.
Yeah. Who got held in that Chicago game where it was just god off? Might have been the worst hold I've ever seen.
Was it Fowler?
Fowler.
Yeah,
I think it was Fowler because I remember he was like this and like he's like fucking
man, almost snapped his knee, man. It was terrible.
And Fields ran for like 30 yards in that play. Like, okay,
what makes it worse about that is that Micah literally said they don't call it because they act like it's away from the play, which doesn't make any sense. Now these refs are just being straight up like they're lying about them. Not listen, just straight up say, listen, I can't call it all the time, or just change. Like it doesn't matter, man. It's not like you change the rules like Shaq. When he went into the league or LeBron or whatever the case may be. Like, fam, they haven't changed the rules. Call it as it is. I understand there's holding on every single play. No, it's so goddamn egregious because literally they are like overpowering these poor guys that it's just like, I can't call it. Like, I can't call it.
Yeah, just say, Micah, you too good. I'm trying to get out of here, bro.
Right.
We'll be here all night.
Listen, man, I gotta get back to my family.
We'll be here all night. But yeah, man, we're gonna get up out of here, man. Guys, please plug your channels and appreciate you guys for coming by.
Yeah, man. Look, it's your boy Mr. Rome. I was late, so I'll go first. I appreciate y'all brothers, man. I had a good time. Sorry my internet tripped down the middle. You know how I do. So I didn't get that right. But I appreciate y'all, man. Looking forward to the rest of this year, and thanks for having me on, DMV.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah, man, it's your boy J Tuck. You can find me on all social media platforms at JTuck151. My YouTube channel, CFO Sportsman. I appreciate y'all, fellas, man, and I appreciate the work y'all do. It's time to rock, man, and come out that bye week refresh, man. I took a whole week off. I didn't drop one video.
Same.
I didn't do nothing. Don't ask me for no radio, no nothing, man.
You're South Beach, man.
Yes.
I was in South
Same
Beach.
here.
And so it's like, you know what? Now it's time to get back to work, man. Cowboys Nation. You know, let's here's when the fun starts. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Stretch run.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys can follow me over at Space Cowboy Media. I always say, and every single time I do a stream or video, do your due diligence. Not only like this, not only like this video, subscribe to all these guys here. You can follow me on Twitter at Space Cowboy MED. Again, Space Cowboy Media on YouTube. And look, man, I took the week off too. Then again, I had something to actually root for during the week, even though I was kind of pissed that we. Well, then again, I can't get mad because no one expected the Phillies to be there. But you know what? I at least had something fun to do. But guess what? Now the fun begins, guys. The fun begins where we actually have a stretch run to go through. And so I'm hoping that things go. Listen, if we lose this upcoming week, I'm going to just be like, all right, guys, you know what? Like, I'm going to be so mad. But on the real though, I'm really liking what we see here, and I think it's going to be a fun end of the year. We're going to have some stuff to actually pay attention to instead of it being like, oh well, we're winning the division by default. So
yeah.
And you can find me on all social platforms, E2 Blue Entertainment. Really love, man, what you guys, man. You guys are all awesome, man. I follow all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? You guys are dope. Love all of y'all content, man. I love all the Cowboys YouTubers. I feel like, man, we're special, bro. Like, we just different. We just build different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we don't have to talk about any other teams, like when it's not our, our team's not playing. You know what I mean? where we have to talk about, oh, we need to sign this player because we're so scared the Cowboys. Man, I see these people on the streets. Like, come on, man.
And I just want to say real quick about this this stretch that we have. You know, this whole 3 games in 11 days thing that we do every year with the Thanksgiving schedule. So if they I think you spoke on it earlier, Space, about the Vikings game. If they flex it tonight to the night game, it'll be good for us and bad at the same time because, you know, Kirk Cousins sucks at night at prime time. But at the same time, we won't get back. Well, they won't get back home until 4:00 that morning. And you got to turn right back around and play at home on Thanksgiving. But thank God that Thanksgiving game is against a division rival. You know them well. So it's not really much to prepare for.
You get up for it a little easier because it's division rival.
Yeah, definitely.
And Thanksgiving been ruined past 2 Thanksgiving.
Man, listen, I be trying to be on extra drunk.
Dog, I don't even want to eat. I don't even want to eat, bro. Like,
I was there last year versus the Raiders. I just felt sick. Like I don't want to eat. I want to go home.
And it was the way it ended. That
just throw the damn turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no Thanksgiving was worse than when Cam Newton and them whooped our ass.
Well, listen, man, the season was already over at that fucking point.
And then Tony went out again.
We just
Josh Allen. We played Josh Allen one Thanksgiving, right? That was kind of
that was ugly too.
That was 2018.
Because Washington came in, cooked us with the easy money. Then we had
it worked out on Thanksgiving.
We have not won on Thanksgiving since 2018. God damn it! It's about freaking time we win. You know what? I swear to God, if we lose we beat the Commanders in 2018. That was the last time we won on Thanksgiving, guys.
Now we got Thanksgiving and Christmas. Oh,
they ruined both my holidays. I'm gonna be a little tired.
It's either gonna be the best thing ever or the worst.
Don't you ruin my holiday this year?
Hey, I'd rather lose to the Vikings and beat the Giants on Thanksgiving.
Listen, I'm cool with that shit. I don't care. Just win.
Like y'all know, we ain't losing none of these games. I don't care. That, y'all know.
I'm with you. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
Let's just eat.
I'll explain the loss. I ain't calling one. I'll explain it, but I ain't calling
it. Yeah. But yeah, man, we gotta get out of here, man. Hey, salute to everybody. Thank you for stopping by. And we'll be here next week. All right. Peace.
Peace.